don't pass the president's stimulus package, 500 million Americans lose their jobs. Now, maybe she's counting the next couple hundred illegal immigrants who are going to be here when she gets that figure. I don't know. They spent this time scaring us into passing the biggest waste of American tax dollars in history. Your money, my money, our paychecks. And now he's trying to say that people are trying to use taxes to scare people. It is the most disingenuous thing that I've heard, well, since the last time he spoke.
Yesterday.
I want to be fair, by the way. I want to be fair.
Why?
I got an email from a listener of my radio program who said, you know, this is going to be a big bash Obama festival and a bash liberal festival. He said, I like the idea of the Tea Parties, my listener said. He said, but where were the protests when the Bush administration was in office? They weren't exactly fiscally sound or conservative either.
A hell of a lot better than
And
Obama.
you know, he's right.
Cool.
The president, when President Bush was running the show, he did not veto a spending bill in his first 6 years in office. And that is irresponsible as anything else anybody else has done. That's why this Tea Party and the Tea Parties all across this country are not sponsored by the Republican Party. They are not brought to you by Fox News either. Fox News might be covering it. They might have some speakers like myself in various cities. This is not an apology for the Republicans and an attack on the Democrats. This is a statement to all politicians from all parties that if you are going to take our money from us at the rate that you have been, and you are going to waste it in the manners that you have begun doing it, we are going to fight back. The Vice President of the United States famously said, you remember it,
What stupid
he
statement?
made a point of telling us that paying higher taxes is our patriotic duty. It's the patriotic thing to do, you see. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't feel it's very patriotic to stand there at gunpoint while somebody rips my wallet out of my pocket, takes money out of it, throws it back at me, and then says, you weren't just robbed, you were assisted in becoming patriotic. But that is precisely what they are telling us that they're doing. This massive tax, let me back up for a second, because I gotta make sure that we're covering all of our bases here. Some of the opponents, some of the acorn nuts, some of the moonbats from MoveOn.org and from the Huffington Post, and they're coming out here to these events all over the country, and they're going to infiltrate them, and they're going to try to dilute the message. They're going to try to trick you. They're going to try to stop the progress that we are trying to make. First of all, to those infiltrators who are in the crowd right now, go to hell. Secondly, what they are saying is, and the message they're trying to get across is, why do we need a tax revolution when the president just lowered your taxes for 95% of Americans with his stimulus package? I don't know about you, but how's that $10 in your paycheck go? How far is that going for you? What they don't want you to understand, my friends, is the future. What they don't want you to think about is what happens when they give you a little bit of a breadcrumb now, and then they decide that we're going to increase the federal deficit by $3.6 trillion this year and $1 trillion a year for the next 10. And they don't want you to ask the question, how the hell are we going to pay that down? Because the answer is, they're not going to pay it down without increasing your taxes next year and by instituting stealth taxes. They'll say, we're not going to raise your income tax, but what we are going to do is impose a new carbon tax. We are going to raise your cigarette tax. We are going to raise your gasoline tax. We are going to raise your food tax.